So, but primarily, we're on Facebook. So, just check now to see that we're live. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Money Lessons Live. Please confirm that you can see me and you can hear us. You can see me. Yeah, I'm going to bring you back. Just so you can use the time to share. If you see the Facebook Live on your on Facebook, you can share it in your profile. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Money Lessons Live. So good to see you. It's another beautiful learning session. Today we're going to be talking about personal branding, and we have our guest speaker waiting. Is behind the scenes watching. So if you can hear me, please type in the comment section your name and where you're joining us from. And also, please, you can share this to your profile so it gets other people to know that we have started. Why am I not seeing this slide on my? It's not showing on Facebook, but I can see it on Facebook. Can you see it on Facebook? I'm not seeing it. Hello, good evening. Why are you joining us from? Okay, so we can see people from YouTube. We have some persons from YouTube. Chibike from Lagos State. Um, good to have you. Good to have you. Okay, so Emmanuel, can you please confirm? I'm not able to see this on Facebook. Don't know what's happening. Hello, good evening. If you can hear me, please your name and your location you're joining us from in the comment section. Good evening, good evening. Your name and your location from where you're joining us from. Okay, so let me get our guest speaker to join us. Going to kick off right away. I've been trying to stream on Facebook as well, but I'm not able to. So we'll just go ahead and on YouTube alone. Please hold on. All right. So hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to Morning Essence Live. Apologies for starting late. We've been trying to stream live on Facebook, but it hasn't been working. So thanks for those of us that have made it down here on YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about building a profitable personal brand. And here with me is Emmanuelo Emiaku. He's popularly known as the brand builder. So he's going to be sharing with us some insight on how you can build a profitable personal brand. This is going to be very interactive. So before we begin, I would like Emmanuelo to share with us about himself, what we should look forward to learning, or let's say gaining, in this session tonight. So Emanuelo, if you can hear me, the ball is in your court.
Good evening, everybody, and it's such a great opportunity to be before you again. My name is Emanuelo, and I'm a personal brand strategist. I help young entrepreneurs, business owners, and career professionals to build a personal brand that help them to get seen, recognized, and paid for the value that they offer online. So tonight we are going to be delving into how to actually build a profitable brand going forward in 2026. It's a new year. A lot of people still have, that momentum and the desire to actually do something. So I'm actually really glad that we're having this at this point in time to be able to help us start early. So I'm looking forward to a really good time with all of us.
Okay, thanks, Emanuelo. I think your voice is a bit low, so maybe you can amplify a bit so we can hear you when next you're talking. Good to have you here tonight, Emanuelo. I've been following you for a while now on Facebook, and you're talking about branding, personal branding. I mean, for over 2 years now, this is what you have been talking about. So, what exactly is personal branding, or what is branding? Why is personal branding important? Maybe you want to first start with what's branding, and then personal branding, and why is it important?
Okay. So I hope that it's clearer now. My voice is a bit clearer.
Yeah, a bit, but if you can amplify your voice a bit, it's going to be good as well. Please confirm that you can hear us.
Okay.
Moses joining from Mina, good to have you. Please confirm that you can hear our voices.
Okay. So first of all, let's start with what is branding. I particularly do not like definitions because it always look as though you are having a lecture whenever I introduce definitions. But the truth is, if you don't start by defining terms, a lot of people would not really understand what you're talking about. So because of that, we will actually have to do the definition of terms. So first of all, what is personal branding? Personal branding is the perception that people have of you. So that perception that people have of you is what we call a personal brand, because whether or not you know it, you have a brand and people perceive you in a certain way. So that perception that people have of you is what we title as a personal brand. So you're taking the conscious effort to try to shape that perception is what we call brand building. So as we proceed more into the discussion, we're going to be talking about, all that it entails and how you can build a profitable one.
Thank you, Manelo, for that. So I asked why should we take personal branding seriously? Why is it important?
Okay, so this is 2026, and a lot of people are building businesses. A lot of people are, trying to get a job online. A lot of people are doing a lot of things. And if you really want to give yourself an edge, if you really want to set yourself apart, you need to stand out because there's a lot of noise out there. There are people who are trying to get a job and they don't exactly have anything that separate them from the masses. These days, you see companies asking for your LinkedIn profile, asking for your social media profile to be included in your CV. This is because they can see what you are putting out, they can see what you are passionate about. So it sets you apart from the masses. You get the opportunity to really tell people about yourself. People can look into your life and see the stuff you are made of. And it sets you apart on the whole. Then secondly, for those who are building businesses, it helps you to build trust amongst people who are, watching the audience. It helps you get people to believe in your vision, to see your why. Why did you start this business you are building? Why did you start this company? So you see a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners who have started building a personal brand and have set themselves apart. They've drawn people to believe in their story. There are many examples like that. I believe your personal brand itself has made the Money Lessons brand a lot stronger. So this is 2026. You cannot say you cannot pay attention to building a personal brand now. So now that AI is all over the place, building a personal brand is even a lot easier. So building a personal brand is just something that you cannot ignore at this point. So that is why we all have to commit to building a personal brand that we can use to set ourselves apart in a noisy world as we have now.
Thank you. Thank you. So talking about being a noisy world, right? A lot of people are showing up right now on Facebook, on social media. They're trying to put themselves out there. So what are the strategies, or would I say tips that we can learn from you tonight that will help us position ourselves better to help make our personal brand stand out amongst many others, especially in the midst of the noise, as it were?
Okay, so first of all, we are talking about building a personal brand, and it's called a personal brand. A personal brand is supposed to revolve around them as a person. That is, it could revolve around your personality, it could revolve around your skill, it could revolve around your business, or anything at all that has a ties to you. So because it revolves around you, it is easy to build a personal brand. Easy because you don't exactly have to think too much. You just have to pick that particular thing you want to build the brand around, and then you start talking about it. Then again, because it is built around you, there is a need for authenticity, for you to tell your story in such a way that it aligns with you as a person. I mean, there are people who are building an online presence, and if you meet them in person, they are two separate entities or two separate personas. You're looking at somebody online, you meet them in person, they are completely different. There is supposed to be a certain level of consistency across these two identities. That is, the person you are online, when somebody meets you, they should be able to get a feel of who they have met online. But people are so they're so distinct and different from the perception they have online, such that when people meet them, that inconsistency it creates a kind of disconnect. So you realize that you have a persona online, but people just cannot connect with you offline. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that it requires a certain level of authenticity. That's one. Secondly, I've always been of the opinion that your personal brand is a big identifier, is a big differentiator, right? And what makes it so easy for people to differentiate you from every other person online is that unique thing about you, or the unique things about you. So if you look at all the personalities out there, they have something that just distinguishes them from the masses. Take, for example, your brand as the Ogochukwu Okolocha brand. It is very straight to the point. It doesn't, beautify the message for anybody at all. Just tell them what it is for what it is. There's no need to beautify it in order to please anybody. So people know you for that. And if they meet you in person, it is consistent. So it comes up as very original. And again, that is something that is unique to you. Nobody talks about finance in the way that you talk about it. So it is very distinct. It is something that is attractive as well. So as someone who is building a personal brand, a lot of people are too afraid to lean into that thing that makes them unique. Sometimes your uniqueness is something that people will consider, some people will say you are bold. Some will say you are arrogant. Some will say you are rude. But then again, if you lean into it long enough, it will distinguish you from every other person, and you begin to find your tribe, because people who like that message you are passing in the way that you are passing it become attracted to you. But then a lot of people are so concerned with trying to please the masses that they begin to fine-tune their message. They begin to sound like every other person. They lose not just their authenticity or originality, they also lose that unique identity that makes them them. So this is why, while you are building your personal brand, you need to hold on really tight to your person, that your uniqueness and your originality. Because in a world where ChatGPT and other AI tools are everywhere, it is easy for you to lose your voice, to lose yourself. So these are some of the things you have to hold on to now to build a kind of brand that really, really stands out.
Thank you so much, Emanuelo, for that. If you're just joining us, this is Money Lessons Live, and today we're talking about how to build a profitable personal brand in 2026. Building a personal brand, we have learned from Emanuelo so far, is very important because right now everybody wants to connect with everybody online. If you are to go for a job today, they'll ask you for your LinkedIn profile, right? They want to see what you have to showcase, and paper documents is no longer sufficient. If you are a freelancer, if you are a business owner and entrepreneur, people want to connect with you online. So having a personal brand in 2026 is super important. It's something that is not negotiable. So if you're just joining us, you can put in the comment section your name and where you're joining us from, and then do us a favor by sharing this to your Facebook profile. If you are watching us from Facebook or on YouTube, you could share it to your WhatsApp status so that we can have more people come and learn how they can build a profitable personal brand. So, Manelo, I have another question for you here.
Okay.
If somebody has skills but zero audience, I mean, this person is skillful and has been contemplating how he can come on social media to start talking about the skill. I have a very close associate who is very skillful in what she does, but she doesn't know how to get started on social media. You know, to tell people that they should show themselves on social media, tell people about what they do and stuff like that. What would you say are the 3 practical steps they can take within 30 days to gain visibility?
Okay. This question is going to have to make me put a lot of things in 3 steps. But say someone who just wants to start, I have no followers, I have nothing except my skill, and I want to come online. What I would do is I'll start by creating a social media profile. That is, I will choose a primary profile, a primary social media platform. Say, if I prefer Facebook, for example, I would create an account on Facebook. If I prefer TikTok or Instagram, I'll do the same. And if I'm a business person or a business oriented person and I want to create an account on LinkedIn, I'll do the same. So it starts by creating an account. But the good thing is a lot of us already have an account, right? But then there are people who are not comfortable with the account they're using because maybe their friends are over there, their parents are over there, and every other person who can make any statement to deter them from actually building on that space is there. So it is very easy for people to be skeptical at the beginning because they are dealing with an account where people they have familiar faces following them. So I would advise that if you are in this category of people, you should create a completely new account. And you don't follow those people. You don't follow any of your friends. You don't follow anyone, right? And then you just start by creating content. You can start by engaging other creators, make relevant comments on their posts, and ensure that you become a familiar faces on a certain creator's profile. So you are certain how you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to be reaching out to, okay, I'm going to be following 20 creators. I'm saying 20 because lots of persons will keep it at 5 or 10. And if you're beginning, you need volume. You need to actually reach as many people as possible. You need as many people as possible to see you. So I would advise you take it as high as 15, 20, and you stay consistent. Every day, you dedicate a certain period of time, maybe an hour or 2, where you engage these creators. Drop relevant ideas, relevant comments on their posts. And I will also say you should ensure that they are aligned to the niche which you want to establish. So you have certain skill. For example, I have someone who is a fashion designer who is currently relocating to Ghana and was asking me a similar question. I said, you're going to a new environment. You can create a WhatsApp account that in that environment where you are going to, sorry, and a social media profile rather, you create a social media profile on either Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, and then begin to post. Then you find a way of commenting on posts of creators who are big in that industry, who are big in that space that you are. So it's two things: it's a location thing and it's a niche thing. You're ensuring that these people that you're commenting are within the location that these people can patronize you. So if you're a fashion designer, you know that your work depends largely on your location, except if you have logistics like shipping and the rest taken care of. And also the niche, you ensure that you are following people who have the kind of audience that are in need of your services. So if you have these two things taken care of, then the next thing is to, once you can see that they have started noticing you, people have started following you, then you begin to also share your knowledge, share your skills, talk about what you are gifted at, what you are good at, that skill that you've mastered. Talk about it, create content on a daily, if possible, set a minimum of posts you can make per day, and you stay consistent with it over time. But the problem is that most people will stop when the comments that you are dropping, they're not getting likes, nobody's seeing it, and then you say it's not working. But sometimes you actually have to keep cutting through that period of silence to ensure that you get the results you are looking for. And then once that is beginning to pay, you can begin to put out offers, like you can begin to monetize. And how do you monetize? If you're putting out content and people begin to ask you questions, it's just an indication that people are interested in what you want or what you are selling, right? They want what you are selling. So at this point, you begin to follow up on these people and tell them, oh, I have so and so available. And if the skill you have is such a skill that you can create a service out of, or it's something that you have to consult people consult you for, you begin to create offers that give people an opportunity to be able to patronize you. Because it is one thing to have visibility, it's another thing to have people, come to you, actually pay you money for that thing you are selling. So a lot of people are actually at the point where they've started out, they're putting out content, and people are actually coming to them to actually ask for what it is that they do or what it is that they sell. But they do not have anything that they can sell. They don't have anything that people can buy from them. So it is very important that while you are building an online presence, you have been able to package that skill, package that service into something that can be bought, into something that people can pay you money for. So if you don't fix that, regardless of the level of visibility you get, you are still going to be broke. So that's one thing I can say that someone who is starting from scratch can do to be able to make money online.
Thank you, Emmanuel. So Emmanuel has told us, if you're just starting online, you want to build a personal brand online, you want people to get to know you, you have to first off with giving up knowledge, value, let people know that this is what you do and try to solve their problems. And then you can package either a product or a service. Otherwise, you're just going to have visibility and not have any means of making money from it. So, and that question I have for Emmanuel, some of us are busy professionals, entrepreneurs. How do we manage showing up on social media? There's a friend of mine on Facebook, Mute Efe, that talks about visibility a lot. He says visibility is king. Now you have to show up in your workplace, and you have to deliver on the task that's assigned to you. How then do you also show up on Facebook or on Instagram simultaneously?
Okay, so this is a very important question because I think it affects everybody. I mean, you are busy, I am busy, everyone is busy. But the truth is, if something is important to you, you are going to have to make time for it. So it is either, I mean, I've talked about this a couple of times on my platform. I would say, is either you wake up early or you sleep late, right? Or you just have to find time in between. So if your work does not permit that you take out extra time, maybe an hour or two during the day, it means you have to go to bed extra late, either 1 hour late or 2 hours late, where you sit down and create or and plan for your brand. You plan the kind of content you want to post. And where that is not possible and you actually have the money, then why not just get a social media manager? I had a friend who is a photographer as far back as 2019, when social media management was not really a thing amongst our peers. He had a social media manager who was managing his photography brand. He was paying the person to manage both Facebook and Instagram, and that's because he had so much to do in his physical place of work. So he could not exactly show up in his physical place of work and still post online without really compromising on one. And he didn't want that. So he ensured that he got a social media manager. But when you don't have the money, you most likely are going to have the time. So you can sit yourself down and make a plan. The reason a lot of people get overwhelmed is because they don't have a plan or a schedule for how they want to operate. So they are just winging it. And if you want to wing content creation, you want to just do it as you feel like, there are days you're not going to feel as motivated as you ordinarily feel. So, that inspiration to write may not be there. But if you have a plan, you batch create your content. Batch creation is like sitting down and creating, say, 5-10 videos and saying, throughout this week, I'm going to post maybe two per day, or 2 or 3 this week, and then 2 or 3 next week. Also, you can create written content, and you create like maybe 10 of them and tell yourself, okay, this is how I'm going to post it this week at a certain time of the day. So if you have created this content beforehand, and you are going, before you wake up in the morning, before you go to work, just take 5-10 minutes, you post, engage a little, maybe reply a few comments, and you move on. You discover that you will be able to still do your work and still have time for you to post and to show up online. Then another thing I keep saying is, there are people who are probably owners of big companies, big businesses all over. Someone like Charles Awuzie, someone like Madam Choma Ifeanyi, for example. These are people who, obviously, from their lifestyle, they are very busy, but they still make out time for their personal brands. They still show up, regardless of how busy they are. So sometimes some of them have social media managers take care of their stuff, but there are people who we know that it is the way they speak, it is the way that they show up, that they still speak online. So it is definitely them who make out the time. So those are the 2 things you can do. You wake up earlier and you batch create. That is one of the 2 things you can do to ensure that you are able to show up online regardless of how busy you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you for just joining us. This is Money Lessons Live. We have here in the room Manuelo Emeako, the brand builder. We have been learning from him how to build a profitable personal brand in 2026. It's been great so far. And now I'm giving us the opportunity to ask questions. If you've been trying to get off from your comfort zone to show up on social media, maybe you have some challenges with it, you have some questions with showing up on social media, now is the best time to ask questions. On a normal, if you had to consult Emanuelo, you would have to pay for his time. So he's here asking any question you have, free of charge, is going to answer you. Okay, so I'm going to be waiting. I could take 1 or 2 questions, and in the absence of any, we'll start rounding up. But before then, I want to ask Emanuelo a very, how do I put this? So I've seen a couple of people come up to show up online. They love to present themselves, but they get, how would I put this? They run out of content to share. So some people say, oh, I don't know what to share on social media. I mean, they have shared, and they are now bankrupt of ideas, of knowledge, of insights. How is it that you have been consistent over the last 2 years and you have not run out of oil? Or maybe you have at some point. How have you been able to manage it that you continually show up putting out content on social media?
Okay. The thing about the online space is that the longer you hesitate to show up, the harder it is for content to come to your head. And there are people who they've been showing up, but they take maybe 2 days break off social media. You discover that all the content in your head is going to run off. But then let's talk about, where do we start from? Let's say you decide to show up online now and you don't know what to post. There are a few things you can do to ensure that you are able to fix that, which is one, you ensure that you are following people in your niche who maybe do the same thing you do. Sometimes they share a post, there is something you learn from them, and you want to talk about it. You can share it as a lesson. You maybe comment, and then you take that comment and make a post out of it. Sometimes when somebody shares a post and you are putting out, you are commenting on it, a new idea, a fresh perspective comes to mind that, ordinarily you may not have thought of before if you had not interacted with that post. So you can take that comment as well and make it into a post. And sometimes when somebody shares a post that it has nothing to do with your industry, you can try to look at it from your own, from your industry's point of view or your industry's perspective, and ask yourself, okay, this thing this person has talked about, is there a way that it relates with my industry? And when you bring that idea to your industry, it looks like very novel, like it looks like it's a breakthrough. Meanwhile, you had seen it from somewhere. So one of the things that I do to ensure that I stay consistent and I don't run out of content is I follow the people who are within my circle, and I have like certain content pillars. I don't just talk about one thing. Even though at the beginning part of my journey, I consistently focused on brand building until I was memorable enough, right? So I ensure that I don't talk just about brand building. I talk about other things, maybe making money online, say developing yourself, self-development. I talk about that a lot, reading books. I mean, last year I shared a lot about my journey through Money Lessons Book Club. So those are some of the things that I do. I talk about my personal life. Now, because it's a personal brand, it's supposed to have elements of yourself in it. So for me, sometimes when I go for events, I talk about it. Sometimes when I have an idea or I have an opinion, I share it, I talk about it. When I wrote my book as well, it was all over Facebook, I talked about it. And surprisingly, even though the book is not the focus of what I talk about on Facebook, take for example, the book is about conversations. I talk about personal branding, but the book went really crazy on Facebook for many times, like for a very long time, reached about 500,000 people organically. You understand that it is because I talked about the book that it got a level of visibility. So there are a lot of things you can talk about. Some people keep their personal brand centered around one thing. So because of that, they run out of ideas. And there are several other things that relate to them that you can share that will keep their brand flowing. So first of all, follow people in your niche. Share content that doesn't just revolve around one thing. If possible, keep it around 3 content pillars. It could be personal branding, conversations, say self-development, or personal branding, investing, and technology. So once you keep it within that industry, you can see trends. You can just use to maybe share a lesson. You can use trends to push your message as well. So those are some of the things you can do to ensure that you don't run out of content. And also, if you create a content calendar and you have a schedule for how you post, once your content is almost running out, you sit yourself down, do some research. You can go on Google. There's a platform, I think, that is called is it askthepublic.com or so. You can type in your niche, say branding now. You will see the questions that, okay, sorry, answerthepublic.com. That's what it's called, answerthepublic.com. So if you type in your niche, say branding, say graphic designing, you're going to see several questions that people are asking. That will show you that this is an area that people are interested in knowing. So once you type it in, you see questions that people are answering. You can create content around it, and it's going to be relevant because these are the things that people are actually looking for answers for. So you discover that what you are sharing will be relevant to your audience. So those are some of the things you can do to ensure you never actually run out of content.
Thank you, Manuelo. This has been a beautiful over the last 35 minutes. We're coming to the end of this session. Thank you, Favor. Yes, Answer the Public. You want to check that site out so that you can have ideas on how you put out content. There's one instance that Emmanuel gave that I particularly use. I follow a lot of people in my industry, my finance industry. I follow a lot of people that talk about personal development. And so sometimes when they make a post and then I'm, did I say captivated or I am inspired and I put out a comment, I take that same comment and make another post. Sometimes I'm just reading a post in another industry that doesn't relate to mine, and then I find out, a way of, fine tuning to fit into my own industry. And again, talking about writing or posting on Facebook, you don't always have to talk about your core niche all the time. It's going to get boring. People want to get inspired, entertained, and informed and educated at the same time. So find a way to mix it. For me, if you follow me closely, you will notice that I do 80% core personal finance and investing and 20% other things. Sometimes I post some things that are ridiculous, funny. Sometimes I just, post about my life, my wife. See, the other day I posted about how people say that you cannot find, I can't remember I put it about a woman that has sense and is beautiful. Have you met my Valentine? And some people were talking about, different people just talk, sometimes just allow people to talk. Facebook love those engagements. Social media is an interactive platform. So sometimes I put out posts just to get people talking. It's not going to inform them. It's not going to help them in any way. It's just what's on your mind, as Facebook has asked. So don't try to ring fence yourself. I mean, some people that say they are thought leaders try to ring fence themselves. They only talk about their thoughts and their needs. So I'm getting feedback. I don't know why. So I'm not one of those. I freestyle, right? If I want to get serious, I get serious. If I want to freestyle, I freestyle. So I'm not the kind of approach that's going to be good for you, but I think that you should be flexible. All right. Emmanuel, look, can you mute your mic? Sorry, maybe when I'm done talking. Yeah, so try and be flexible. You may not follow my own approach because my own approach, I mean, it's crazy, right? But just find a way to be in the middle so that you're not boring. Very important, because if you are boring, even if you're trying to make sense, people will not learn. See, I made a post today, 2 posts about the same thing. One post was a notification from NRC, the National Tax, what they call it? I don't remember their name. It's the tax agency about these VATs. I posted it and I said that Taiwo, this is a message from Taiwo to the rumor mongers. That particular post had about 6 likes. Then I posted another image of somebody saying that you pay 7.5% tax on any amount that you transfer. And then everybody started talking. So some people want to start teaching me about tax in the comment section. Right? You see that post drew their attention. But the other one that was the full of information, I mean the exact information, did not get their attention. So sometimes you have to find a way to balance these things. Otherwise, you're going to have a page filled with crickets. So I'm going to yield the floor back to Emmanuel as he gives us his final notes. Since we don't have any questions, I think we are all satisfied with all of the questions that I've asked him so far. So Emmanuel, share with us your final notes for tonight. Thank you.
figure that out earlier before you even start. Then once you've asked yourself that, then you ask yourself, who exactly am I? What are the things that are unique to me? Right? That's your uniqueness. So you share that message with that with confidence and certain level of audacity. Also, you ask yourself, um, what am I? Why exactly am I doing it? Who am I doing it for? Because if you don't know who you are doing it for, you basically be trying to talk to everybody and you're going to struggle to pass your message across, right? So once you're able to sort all of these out, then the next thing I want you to do is to now sit yourself down and plan. If possible, seek clarity. Uh, you can follow people like myself who talk about personal branding to ensure that you get tips that always help you to stay on track, or you can just upfront pay and get access to help somebody for somebody to help you clarify your vision, to help you gain that level of clarity you need in order for you to move, in order for you to be able to move, rather, right? So if you don't have that clarity, you see yourself being blown about by every blowing wind. Whatever happens online, you're going to jump on it because there's no internal compass guiding you. So if you can fix all of that and you've chosen a platform, you know who you're providing these services for, then you just fire on, just keep preaching your message, even when nobody is listening. There are times, you see, there's something that Mr. Ogochukwu just said now, that he posted something today, he got 6 likes. He has 25,000 followers. So for you who are just starting out there and you post and you're not getting followers, I don't think you should be pained at all. Just make peace with yourself. Make up your mind that for the next 1 year or 2 years, if nobody comments on your post, you're not going to stop, right? If you can make up your mind that you're not going to be deterred by comments or likes, you'll be fine. So there are people who have thousands of followers, even hundreds of followers, hundred thousands of followers, who may not even get up to 20 likes on some posts, right? Even though they put out a lot. So you who are starting out should not be deterred by that. And the online space is brutal. If you are not prepared for people to drag you, you see, me, I've made peace with it. He has made peace with it. Most people who are online have made peace with the fact that if you're not willing to be dragged, then don't bother coming online. So if you can make your peace with this, to also make your peace with looking stupid in front of your friends, in front of your family at the beginning, because it will not make sense to them. You're the one who can see what you're trying to build. Then give yourself just, some time. So long as you are showing up constantly, you're going to be really surprised at what you would have built over the course of time. I started building my personal brand. At first, I did not have that clarity. I did not have that. I couldn't really see it as at the beginning. But again, as one lessons like to say, you gain clarity by doing. So if you take one step, it gets clearer. You can't see step 2 if you've not taken step 1. So sometimes you just have to start while you are unsure, while you are uncertain, when you don't even know if this will succeed, right? Some of us are just waiting to ensure that we get everything perfect before we start. So because of that, you keep stalling. And somebody who is not as knowledgeable as you are, who is not as skilled as you are, has tried multiple times, failed, and eventually succeeded while you're still, contemplating. So building a personal brand is not exactly different from doing any other thing. But if you commit to it, I can assure you that over the course of time, you're going to reap rewards beyond what you have imagined. Because on a final note, as I like to say, building a personal brand is the only investment instrument that pays you dividend on a daily basis. Dividend in this case is, what you get. Like most companies pay dividend maybe once or a year or twice at most, 3 times, right? So if you build a personal brand, you are going to make profits. You are going to get opportunities on a daily basis if you build it right. I hope that this inspires you to build a personal brand, and it inspires you to look back on this day, maybe a year or 2 from now, and appreciate that you took out 1 hour, 1 hour to be here. And we would like to hear your testimonies. You can always come back to this live, drop a comment, drop a post. We would appreciate that. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate you having me here today, and I look forward to some really amazing things going forward.
Thank you, Manuelo. This has been a very good opportunity for us to learn from you this evening. I'm so excited that I told you even on a short notice, and you were willing to come here to share with us. I'm looking forward to feedback, testimonials from those of us that joined us in this session. For now, it's bye. See you next week. Thank you, Lyrics Hub. Thanks so much. I'm glad you got value. Bye.